everyone and welcome back to another Xenoblade leak video. Today we're going to be covering another leak that I'm a little bit late on, so apologies. I wanted to get the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 predictions out for you as soon as possible, and then this came out and I just didn't have enough time. But we're doing it now. Once again, the leaks I'm going to be covering today come from the leaker on Twitter called Samus Hunter. A link to their Twitter will be in the description. And before we jump in, of course keep in mind to take everything in this video with a grain of salt. Rumours are just that, rumours. It's not confirming that anything is true. And things change through the game development cycle. So some of the things that may be leaked now may be changed for future releases of the game. But with all that out of the way, let's jump right into the leaks. I'm going to jump into this tweet that Samus Hunter made on the 15th of August. The first part that they put is a reference to the Fanbite rumour. Now I've already covered that on the channel. If you want an in-depth look on that, then check out this video. But to sum up what they're pointing out here, the Fanbite rumour specified that the game is aiming for more character models on screen at once than previous titles, accounting for both playable characters and enemies. Now to be honest, this is likely to be true, although possibly not to the extent that some of you could be expecting, as I think the difference in the amount of models on screen would be very minor. But interestingly enough, Samus Hunter then goes on to say that the game is going to be the most visually demanding game on the Switch for other reasons. Now this statement alone is very interesting indeed, considering the Switch already has some games which look really good and are taxing on the system, Breath of the Wild being an excellent example. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Xenoblade DE are both beautiful games to start off with, and I can already imagine that they're already quite visually demanding for the Switch, because whenever I play the games in handheld mode it sounds like an aeroplane's taking off with the fans. But in all seriousness, this is great news to go along the lines that the next Monolith Soft game is going to be even prettier than all previous titles. Samus Hunter also gives us an idea on what will be particularly changed, saying that they want to set up even more the lighting, particle systems and character feature rendering, such as better hairs and clothing materials, which are primarily all the effects of the engine and all the things that you'll see moving around, like the fog in Sator Marsh at night time. And even though it's not specified, I'd be very surprised if the textures for the next game weren't updated as well, which will then mean that everything in the entire world and the entire game will look even better, along with these other changes that they've added. The advantage of all this is also specified beneath, with the fact that Monolith Soft likes to make more cinematic cutscenes and allow for more complex worlds. However, it is unlikely that the games will run at any higher of a resolution, as also specified in that second tweet. For those reasons mentioned there, but also the fact of the Switch only outputs 1080p anyway, and even if they were to release another Switch on top of the Switch OLED, which ran at 1440p or even 4K, then it's unlikely that this game would also scale up with said resolution. Of course, you could always take advantage of upscaling though. We then also have the topic of Ace returning for this project, which is the group that composed the music for Xenoblade 1 and 2. Now Samus Hunter takes this the way that it's more than likely a Xenoblade game that they're working on and that's coming out next. However, I'd still say hold your horses and your predictions on that at the moment, considering it still could be the new IP that they've been working on, and that Ace are primarily going to be Monolith Soft's primary recording artists. They also mention in terms of the character designs that there'll more than likely be multiple collaborations with various artists again, which means that if you enjoyed the wide variety of character designs in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you'll more than likely enjoy all the designs of this new game as well. And I can't speak for everyone, but I think most of the designs in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 were really good. Not that one though. We also finished this thread of tweets with a little bit of the story and what you can expect in terms of those elements, with supposedly more sci-fi, psychological and philosophical elements coming for this title. And then we also get the big drop that Monolith Soft's goal is to be able to interconnect all the titles in the series, including Xenoblade X, which is huge information, and it's personally what I really want to see, with all the worlds interconnecting and us being able to see all of the characters mingle. But I'll talk more about this in my Xenoblade Chronicles 3 predictions. Check it out if you haven't. But does this comment mean that the next game is going to have all of the worlds merge? Well, not necessarily, because it's their goal, and that doesn't mean it's going to happen in this game. My prediction for if it's going to happen is it'll either happen at the very end of this game or some point in the game after, but that's just a theory. Xeno Theory. The same was also said by Samus Hunter a little bit more recently, talking about an update on the Fanbite rumour, but there's not really much to talk about, so I'm not really going to cover it. But I'll have an image on screen now so you can read it all for yourself just by pausing the video, if you want to. They specify that the two worlds don't converge in the new game, which might be the case, which isn't something to be upset about, because it just means you've got one extra thing to look forward to. But that about covers this leak update video. There have been some very interesting information, and this really gets me excited to see the new graphics and visuals for the next Xenoblade game. I hope you've all enjoyed this leak video, and if you haven't want to stay up to date with all of the latest Xenoblade Chronicles leaks, then consider hitting that big red fat subscription button just there. And until next time guys, peace.